Hey guys, Sprite here. I will now be uploading a video every Saturday as this is my new upload schedule. I realise that I'm not always consistent with my uploads and I want to put as much work as I possibly can into getting these videos out there to you guys, my loyal subs and viewers. So if you're in the mood to get your heart broken, then sit back, relax and enjoy as I go through my top 10 heartbreaking anime. Number 10. Say I Love You. Friends suck and trusting someone is just setting yourself up. That's the lesson Mei Tachibana learned after her heart was ripped out and only a shell was left where a girl used to be. But unlike so many, she found an easy solution. She'll never make another friend. Ever. Okay, maybe that's not as easy as it sounds, but it's worked for Mei, or at least it did until handsome, charming and annoying popular Yamato came along. For some freakish reason, he seemed to like Mei. He even gave her his phone number, as if she would ever call him. Except she did, but only because she needed help. Still, he came. He actually came, and now things are getting way too complicated. Mei's no princess in a tower, she's not waiting for a knight in shining armour to rescue her, so why did he even have to kiss her and confuse everything? And why are those three little words so hard to say? Say I Love You is an anime that I wanted to feature on my romance list but I never really got around to it. It's found its way on my heartbreaking anime list because this anime can get very emotional at times, with the whole plot being about a serious romance story rather than something that is comedy orientated. It's so low on this list because not many scenes will literally break you in an emotional sense, but the overall tone to the show gets more depressing as misunderstandings really start to get to you as a watcher. You'll definitely be asking yourself questions based on the characters' decisions and how they could have avoided the situation. Like most serious romance anime, they always tend to grip you in some way emotionally, and Say I Love You does that perfectly with two great main characters. Number 9. 5 cm per second. Tuno Takaki and Shinohara Akari, two very close friends and classmates, are torn apart when Akari's family is transferred to another region of Japan due to her family's job. Despite separation, they continue to keep in touch through mail. When Takaki finds out that his family is moving, he decides to meet with Akari one last time. As years pass by, they continue down their own paths, their distance slowly growing wider and their contact with one another fades. Yet, they still keep remembering one another and their times they shared together, wondering if they will ever have the chance to meet again. This isn't your average romance story that just gets shoveled out every season. This is an anime movie, but I just couldn't help but not add it in. This is one of the first movies I ever watched and it really left an impact on me and made me really think about my own life in many different ways. Before that, I never really thought about being in a similar situation than Tuno and Shinohara. After this touching story about love and distance came to an end, it did stick with me for a very long time afterwards. If any anime leaves an impact on you, it's always worth a mention. Not to mention the gorgeous artwork in this anime. Number 8. Flowers of Evil. Kusuga is a boy who loves reading books. A girl at his school, Seiki, is his muse and his Venus, and he admires her from a distance. One day, he forgets his book in the classroom and runs back alone to pick it up. In the classroom, he finds not only his book, but Seiki's gym uniform. On a mad impulse, he steals it. Now everyone knows some pervert stole Seiki's uniform, and Kusuga is dying with shame and guilt. Furthermore, the weird, creepy, and friendless girl of the class, Nakamura, saw him take the uniform. Instead of revealing it was him, she recognizes his kindred deviant spirit. Will it be possible for Kusuga to get closer to Seiki, despite Nakamura's meddling and his dark secret? What exactly does Nakamura intend to do with him? This anime is far different from most anime that have been released in recent years, just because of its realistic outlook on life, and the truly dark and depressing scenes that follow it. Pretty much every character in this show has a lot of bad things about them that make them truly horrible people at times. At first, it didn't seem like they were too bad, but as their actions unfold throughout the anime, you get to see what they are really like as people, and how the story unfolds. Not for the faint of heart, but extremely unique in its own right. Number 7. True Tears. Shinichiro is a student living in what would be a dream come true for most high school boys, but for him is mostly a frustration. A well-liked girl in school named Hiromi has lived in his house for a very long time. Her father was a close friend of the family, and when he died, they immediately took her in. She is popular, always smiles, is talented in sports, but Shinichiro knows there must be tears inside her. Having an artistic tendency, he makes watercolors of her and thinks about wishing to ease her tears. yet he can't bring up the nerve to talk to her even in his own home. She too is quiet and withdrawn in her own home, quite unlike at school. Shinichiro is also distracted by teasing from his friend for watching Hiromi from afar, a curse of bad luck from a strange girl named No, and being forced to perform mohiga dancing. He hopes to ease his own problems, yet he seems to have difficulty helping himself. Another show that is definitely aimed at people who like serious drama and romance. This show is unlike any romance drama I've seen. Most other shows of a similar manner are very predictable and feature every key element that make them the next generic anime. But True Tears is very different because it goes off the beaten track a lot, really adding more dramatic tension between each of the characters. With this sort of tension in place, you find yourself really sympathising with these characters, feeling like you understand them and their personalities. It's this type of connection with the audience that the anime nailed in my opinion. With all of this in place, this anime leaves a lasting impact on you that you're sure to reflect on. Don't miss this one, guys. Number 6, Chrono Crusade. The year is 1928 AD. The place is New York, USA. The economic prosperity brought forth after the Great War also heightened the presence of something far darker and much more sinister, the demonic sinners. The Magdalene Order is an organisation that tries to counter this force. Two of its exorcists are Rosette and her assistant Chrono. Both appear out of place in an organisation like this, and they're in a quest to find Rosette's missing brother, Joshua. Their relationships, secrets and fates can only be revealed in time. I think the strongest element to this series is definitely the character development. Without this, I really don't think this anime would be as memorable as it is. Every character has their own individuality, which really made them believable. It makes you give a shit about every single character involved. It's a bit slow to start with and it may cause you to drop it, but I assure you things get better a few more episodes in. In at number 5 we have Air. Yukito is on a journey in search of a winged maiden who was bound to the sky centuries ago, after hearing an old childhood tale from his mother. As Yukito shows his puppet show to people in an attempt to make money, he finds himself in a small town in which he did not expect to stay very long. However, when he meets an unusual girl named Masuzu, things take a drastic turn as he is invited to stay with her. By staying in this quaint town, Yukito soon becomes friends with the locals and he gets to know them better. He learns of their problems and decides to help, putting his search of the winged maiden on hold. With his search on hold, and his growing attachment to Masuzu and the small town, will Yukito ever find the winged maiden, or is she closer than he thought? So Yukito meets 3 girls, gets to know them, and he realises they all have something mysterious about them, and their past, blah blah blah. So you're probably used to hearing similar plots like this over and over again, but this is by no means a generic anime. The visuals are just awesome in this anime, and a joy to look at throughout. Beneath all the drama is a complicated story to grasp at first, which might put you off. I wouldn't let that scare you away from this masterpiece though. In 4th place we have Kanon. As a young child, Azawa had often visited his cousin in the city. However, something drastic happened to keep him away for 7 long years. Now, Azawa returns. His memories of those days are simply gone. Settling into his wintry town, Azawa comes across several young girls, all of whom are connected to his past. As he befriends them and continues to interact with them, the long forgotten memories from his childhood begin to resurface. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of this anime before, but I just couldn't leave it out. The reason why I added Kanon 2006 instead of just Kanon is because the 2006 version is a remake of the original, making it the definitive version. Don't worry, just go ahead and watch 2006, or if you feel like watching the original, then do so. As our main character meets more girls and befriends them, each of the girls' story arcs are revealed, which vary from dramatic and romantic, an anime truly worthy of its praise, and I can't recommend it enough. Number 3, Grave of the Fireflies. In the aftermath of a World War II bombing, 2 orphan children struggle to survive in the Japanese countryside. To Seita and his 4-year-old sister, the helpless and indifference of their countrymen is even more painful than the enemy raids. Through desperation, hunger and grief, these children's lives are as heartbreakingly fragile as their spirit, and love is inspiring. Another anime movie, but what a masterpiece. Honestly, I haven't really watched many anime movies, but when I decided to sit down and watch this, I was blown away. To elaborate on this further, this movie took a unique spin on World War II by making us follow the story of a guy named Seita and his 4-year-old sister. What makes this plot so emotional and engaging is the inclusion of his 4-year-old sister, struggling to survive with hardly any food and dangers around every corner. Things happen in this anime that I could never imagine being a part of, and to see these main characters go through their dangerous adventure, it will cause many emotions to surface, perhaps even to the point of tears. In second place we have Clannad After Story. Tomoya and Nagise graduate from high school. Unable to decide on a course for his future, Tomoya learns the value of a strong work ethic and discovers the strengths of Nagise's support. Through the couple's dedication and unity of purpose, they push forward to confront their personal problems, deepen their old relationships and create new bonds. Everyone knows of this series, but if you haven't, I highly recommend you watch the first season before watching this one. There's not many anime series out there that I can say brought me to tears, but I'm not ashamed to admit that this one did. I'm not ashamed to admit this for the simple fact that I know a lot of other people also broke down while watching this. If anything, any anime that can trigger emotions like that deserves a place. I know this anime is included in so many other lists, but I just couldn't leave it out. You might be asking why I included the after story rather than the first season. The first season was pretty slow paced and I did find myself quite bored sometimes, but I pushed through and I'm glad I did. And at number 1, we have Anohana. Shinto Yodomi and his group of childhood friends have become estranged after a tragic accident split them apart. Now in their high school years, a sudden surprise forces each of them to confront their guilt over what happened that very day, and come to terms with the ghosts of their past. Basically, anyone who has to deal with death, along with the guilt that it brings, is never going to have an easy ride. What makes this anime heartbreaking is the effective use of the flashbacks used with all the characters. This anime really makes you aware that their deceased friend meant so much to them, and you can really tell that from the way each character changed dramatically after the event. Menma, the young girl who tragically passed away, was so young, which makes the pain even harder for our characters to deal with. I'd say the most heartbreaking aspect of this anime is how the group split apart over the years, fading away from each other as more time went by. As you can tell, this anime is pretty deep. This anime is well worth your time though, and I highly recommend it. So that's it for my top 10 heartbreaking anime list, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me in the comment section what you thought of it and tell me your top 10 heartbreaking anime. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.